I'm out here in Southwest Colorado and I'm going to be camping for 5 nights, and every single night I'm going to be testing a different cot. Trust me when I tell you I'm going to sleep all night in each one, and I'm going to rank them according to 5 stars as to which ones I like best and to show you exactly what I think of them. Every evening I'm going to have a new cot in here. I'm going to tell you about it, and then the next morning I'm going to get up and I'm going to give you my impression. This first cot is a Coleman Trailhead 2 camping cot. I'm using a mattress topper from Spring Spirit, and I'm going to have all this information in the description below. But besides using this mattress topper right here, which they say is like, I think, 1.5 or 2 inches, right now it only looks like about 3/4 of an inch. But in addition to this mattress topper, the only thing I'm using is this new sleeping bag. This is a Redwood -25 sleeping bag. It's an oversized sleeping bag, and it's from Alps Outdoor. I'm really used to sleeping with that 3-inch memory foam and sheets and things like blankets and comforters, but this is going to be a little bit different, and this is going to be how most people sleep. They'll just put a sleeping bag down on a cot. Many times they won't even have a mattress topper, but with this cot, this mattress topper, and this really large, it's an extra large sleeping bag, and it actually is fairly thick. So with this whole setup, in the morning I'm going to get up and tell you exactly how I slept last night, or it's going to be tonight. All right, I actually slept really good in this Coleman Trailhead 2. I didn't sleep as comfortably as I do with my Cabela's lounge cot and my REI Kingdom Cot, but with this pad down here and this really comfortable sleeping bag, I actually slept really good. Now here's the problem. Outside there's a thunderstorm right now. I think it might have just passed. The wind and the rain is absolutely ridiculous. It's horrible. I would rate this cot probably a 3.5 out of 5. Wow, that lightning strike was bright. And that wasn't more than a mile away. It's just not as flexible. It's big enough, it's wide enough and long enough, and this pad fits on here really well. It straps around each corner, and I actually slept really good, but this wind and rain has just been rocking me all night. Even though the tent is holding up really well, it does wake me up. This evening I'm going to put up another cot, and I'll show you that, and we'll keep testing these cots all through the week. Okay, this is a heavy duty camping cot. It's a Aboron, or I may have just completely ruined the name, but anyway, here's a headrest which I won't be using. I'll get it out of the way. It's a heavy duty cot. It came with an optional pad which I bought because I want to sleep on it, but I just want to also let you know that you can set this up like a lounge chair, and I really like to be able to do this with these cots, because if you want to sit up and read, or maybe you want to take it outside and watch the sunset or sunrise, who knows. But this should be pretty easy to put together, and there'll be information in the description below on this cot and this mattress pad. Let's get this thing out, because I'm going to sleep on it tonight, and then in the morning I'll tell you what I think about it. Again, I'm going to rank them 0 out of 5. But let's see if this one can get 5 out of 5. But let's put it together first. So it has these notches on the back where you can sit it up in different positions. Has 3 legs. I can tell this here is going to sit near to the ground. You can see it's really nice for sitting here reading. Maybe at night you're just wanting to hang out and sit up. Maybe you forgot your camping chair. This could act as a chair, but it's really nice. Feels comfortable. I think the frame is made out of plastic. Now let's get this pad out. Well, I guess you have 2 options here. If you like gray, there you got it. And if you like blue, which I do, there's the blue. This has some straps here to tie it down. Okay, on the top of the bed, this isn't a strap. This is a cover that you just pull over. So hopefully that keeps it in place. So it just ties at the bottom. Well, there's straps on the side here. Hear that wind? That's what I was dealing with all night. In fact, it was worse. A thunderstorm came through with a bunch of lightning. Not good. All right, so that Seems pretty comfortable. The next thing is a really nice oversized sleeping bag. So on this one here, again, we've got the cot, we've got this pad, and then we've got this really comfortable sleeping bag. If I were gonna rank the sleeping bag, it's like a 9 out of 10 or 4.5 out of 5. It's a great sleeping bag. It's got a lot of room. I can spread my legs out. It's like a negative 25-degree sleeping bag. All right, I'm gonna sleep on this tonight. I'm gonna wake up in the morning and I'm gonna tell you how many stars it gets. Okay, I have slept the whole night in actually pretty good weather with this Aboron Cot with mattress, and you can see it right here. Here is the mattress. You know, it's not that thick of a mattress, but anyway, you can see the cot. And the wind had died down last night, so I wasn't staying awake at all because of the wind and the rain. I was waking up a little bit because of this cot. My first impressions on 5 stars is I would give it a 2.5 to 3, and here's why. The cot is a little bit thinner than every other cot I have and a little bit shorter, and all the specifications are going to be on the screen for you to see. When I was setting the cot up, these legs kept folding out or slipping back underneath, and so it took me a little time to get those legs actually set up correctly. And that's not a big deal because it didn't mess up during the night, but it was a little bit of an irritant. Another thing is that this cot sits lower to the ground. And I like to use space under the cot for storage, and I've got these bins right here. They're not real big bins, you can see this. I have a bin underneath me and one here, and it's great because the bins do fit. But when I laid down, I was feeling something hard, such as the frame, and I was thinking this is going to get a 1 out of 5 stars. And then I went and looked underneath and I pulled these out, and it was a lot more comfortable. So the cot isn't high enough to handle storage bins like this underneath it, and I had to pull these out and sit them out here last night. I think the biggest thing for me is because it's a little bit smaller cot and it's not as comfortable, and I'll even go as far to say it's not as comfortable as the Coleman Trailhead 2, and that really shocked me. Now the Coleman Trailhead 2, I did have a mattress on it, or a pad, so that helped it make it more comfortable, but this one also has a pad. And I would even say by, thinking maybe this might be a better pad, but it's not. The pad I have for that Coleman Trailhead 2 is a better pad in my opinion, because it may be the same thickness or maybe slightly less, but it's more dense material. So there you have it, my first night on this cot, and I'm going to be a little bit optimistic here, and I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars, but it might be 2.5 to 2.75. I just like a bigger cot, and I'm going to get to the REI Cot and the Cabela's cot in a couple more days, but tonight I'm going to do another test on an air mattress. So that's my thoughts on this one, about 3 out of 5 stars, and that's being really nice and generous. All right, let's check out this air mattress for tonight's sleep. Hey, I am testing my SoundAsleep air mattress, and it's been a long time since I've used an air mattress when camping in cold weather. The last time I did it was in northern New Mexico, and I had an air mattress that sat near the ground. I didn't have a heat source. It was 25 degrees at night, and I froze my butt off. Now in this case, I have a big buddy heater in this tent, so the tent's warm, and I've got a really great sleeping bag, a minus 25 degree Fahrenheit sleeping bag. Hopefully I'll stay really warm, and that's even if the air gets cold in the mattress, because this sleeping bag has such great insulation. So let's take a look at this air mattress. I know already that I have to hook it up to an electric source, and I have my inverter here with my marine battery, so I shouldn't have a problem. So let's open it up and take a look inside. Here's the instructions and a way to fix a leak. Hopefully I don't have to use this. But I'm going to read through these instructions really quick before I do anything, so give me a second. Well, that wasn't really hard. Inflate, you turn it to inflate, and then you turn it to deflate. When you want to deflate it, both times you need to have it plugged into a power source. Now it looks like I just need to unroll it, and hopefully that cord is long enough to reach my inverter. If not, I'll slide it over there and take care of that. So let's air it up. All right, it looks like this cord's maybe 5 feet long or 4.5 feet long. So I'm gonna move this over closer to my inverter, then I'm gonna power it up. And the instructions said, once you plug it in, you turn it to inflate and you get it to the firmness you want, and then you turn it back to off. At this point, I think that I could unplug it and put the cord back in here and don't have to have it plugged in during the night unless I start losing air. Then when you want to deflate it, you plug it back in again and you turn it to deflate. So let's see how it works. All right, so let's turn this to inflate. How long it took to air it up, and I think it was maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Now let's unplug this and we'll get this set up and put my sleeping bag on it and see what it looks like. Before I put the sleeping bag on, I want you to see that I try to keep some distance between the edge of the tent and my air mattress or cot. But the next 2 or 3 days, the wind's going to be really light and the weather's going to be better. It's going to be a little bit warmer. It's still going to get down to like 25 at night. But I still want to be away from the edge of the tent. So I'm going to move things around real quick and then I'm going to put my sleeping bag down. All right, there you have it. It was actually really simple to set up. You just have to make sure you can plug it into an outlet. An outlet at home, a jackery, an inverter that goes to a marine battery. Just make sure you can plug this in to air it up and to deflate it. The only thing I don't know right now is if this air pressure inside is at the firmness that I want. Is it too firm, not firm enough? We'll find out. And will it keep that firmness throughout the night? Well, let's check it out real quick. That feels pretty good. Well, let's see what I think about this air mattress when I wake up in the morning. Well, good morning. I got my coffee and I actually slept pretty good last night. So how did I sleep last night? Well, I slept really good, but there's always these other conditions that mess me up and cause me not to sleep as well. Last night I got down to 20 degrees and one of the campers said even 16 degrees. And with this big buddy heater going on high, and I have a fan on top of the tent and it's helping to push air down. Plus there's a fan on the back of the big buddy that pushes the air out, but it was still kind of cold. I would say the temperature in the tent last night was somewhere between 45 and 50 degrees. But with this great sleeping bag right here, I actually slept really warm. It's just when I would pull the sleeping bag down some, I would get a little bit colder. But as soon as I got up and walked over near the heater, it was nice and warm. It was just near the sides of the tent. Anyway, you're here about the cots and the air mattresses, so I slept really good. What would I give it out of 5 stars? I'm having trouble with that a little bit because it slept really good, and if I said sleeping wise, I would give it probably 4.5 out of 5 stars. Now it is an air mattress and some people might not like a little bit of the movement, but it's a pretty sturdy air mattress. It was easy to set up and I'm sure it's going to be easy to take down. But with any air mattress, there's always a chance of it leaking, whether you puncture it or it has a slow leak over time. Does it stay firm during the night? And I had this set up about noon yesterday, I think, and I tested it out and I actually took a little bit of a nap on it. And then when I was getting ready to go to bed, I noticed that it didn't look as firm. And then I checked it out and it had lost some air over 8 hours or so. So around 10 or 11 o'clock at night, actually I think it was midnight, because I wasn't sleeping and I got up and I was editing some videos, I aired the mattress up. I had to move it over here to where I could plug it into my inverter, and then I aired it up to the firmness that I wanted, and then I went to sleep. Now this morning it feels like it really didn't lose any air. I'm not sure if the first time you air it up, if you need to let it sit for a little bit, check it again before you go to bed, maybe put a little bit more air in it. I'm not an air mattress expert, but it does seem to be holding the air now. It seems very firm. Now I'm sitting right here and it's in one spot and it's pushing it down a little bit, but it did really well last night. It was a very comfortable way to sleep. I want to warn you one more time, when it's cold outside, do not sleep on this thing with a sheet only. You'll get cold. Use a sleeping bag. It's an insulator and it'll help you to stay a lot warmer. Sleeping wise, I would give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, but with some other issues of you've got to plug it into a power source and you can lose some air, and I did lose air last night early in the evening, but those things right there make me drop this down to a 4 out of 5 stars. It's a great way to sleep, but you got to have the power source and you better have a backup plan of if this thing goes flat. You either need to repair it or you need to have a different way to sleep, or just be happy sleeping on the ground. Well, that's it for this air mattress. Tonight I'm going to sleep on the REI Cot with a 3-inch memory foam pad with sheets. Then I'll take this sleeping bag and I'll unzip it and I'll use it as a comforter, so it's a completely different way of sleeping. Stick around to check that out and see how well I sleep. And will it get 5 out of 5 stars? We'll just have to wait and see till tomorrow morning. Okay, tonight we are sleeping in the REI Kingdom Cot 3. So tonight's all about how I sleep on this cot and how I set it up. So let's see exactly what it looks like and how I sleep almost like I sleep at home. For those of you who haven't seen my other video about the REI Cot, what I don't like is it doesn't have a 4th set of legs at the bottom or at the foot of the bed. So if somebody sits down there, it'll flip it up in the air. And it's not only people. If it's a decent sized dog that jumps up here, and we have 3 of them at home, they'll come up here when I've got it all set up. I'm like, yeah, it looks really comfy. And they'll go to the end and it'll flip up in the air and they fall off. And then they look at me like, what happened? That's the one negative about this cot, but it's a really wide cot. It angles up on the edge, so it kind of keeps you more in the middle. It has padding at both ends of the cot. It's a very big cot. It's very comfortable. It actually has a bunch of give. There's paracord on the bottom. That's part of the framings of it. So by itself, it's a really comfortable cot, but let me show you how I make it better. First of all, go get yourself a 3-inch memory foam. In order to keep this in one place, you need to put a sheet on it. I don't care if it's the middle of summer and you don't put any blankets on. You should put a fitted sheet on it even when you put a sleeping bag on it by itself. Now it's time for the sleeping bag, but I unzip it completely. And right now I could use this sleeping bag as it is and be fine, but I'm trying this to show you a different way. Now here's a problem. This sleeping bag does not go far enough over the edge of the cot, so your feet may stick out, or mine do. So the solution I've found to deal with that is to take another sleeping bag and drape it over the end. Now the next thing I do is I put a really nice blanket down. Not only does it make the bed look better, and it helps to keep this bottom sleeping bag from sliding off or to the side. Well, there you have it. One of my favorite ways to sleep. Well, we're going to sleep all night tonight in really cold weather down to about 25 degrees. I have a big buddy heater, so I should stay warm, and I have been staying warm, but we're going to see how well I really sleep. Will this get 5 stars compared to how I sleep at home? And is that even fair? Well, not really. Unless you're in an RV and have a queen size bed or a king size bed with all the comforts of home, you're probably never gonna get more than 4.5 stars out of something like this. But let's check it out and I'll see you in the morning. Wow, I feel great sleeping in this REI cot with this 3-inch memory foam, and like I'm at home with sheets and the sleeping bag unzipped and out like a comforter. There really is no better way to sleep when camping that I have found, unless you're in an RV. I still have to try the Cabela's cot tonight, but the other 3 ways to sleep this week with 2 different cots and also an air mattress, they're really good for sleeping too versus sleeping on the ground or on a thin air mattress on the ground, but I'm telling you, this beats all of it so far. All right, I give it a 4.5 stars out of 5, just because a few things I don't like about it, where this will flip up on you if you sit on the end, and really that's one of the only things, but great way to sleep. The best way to sleep that I've ever had when I've been out camping. So you need to check this out, and tonight I will try the Cabela's cot, and then we'll see how it ends up tomorrow after I've tried all 5. So I'm going to get this cot out of here and set the Cabela's cot up now. Okay, so last night of camping, and this is the Cabela's lounge cot, and I'm telling you, I love it already, and I've tried it many times. Just to show you a few reasons why I like it better than the REI Cot is it comes in a carrying case. It has a handle here and it has a shoulder strap here. It is a heavy cot, but it's great to have something like this to carry it in. All right, let's get going and see what it looks like all set up. Here's another quick thing. Has these Velcro straps on both sides that helps it to stay together better when you're transporting it. And I don't know if you heard that, but it snaps into place. You can see these red knobs right here. You have to pull it out to then unlock it to put it back. I like that a lot. All right, you see how fast that went together. This cot might be heavy, but it has a lot of padding and it's very flexible. And I can tell you from sleeping in it already, it's a great cot. There's another reason I like this cot so much. Check this out. The cot doesn't flip up in the air because there's a fourth set of legs right below me. These are some of the reasons why it beats the REI Cot. You've already seen me set the REI Cot up with the memory foam and the sheets and all that. This is going to be the exact same way. There is the Cabela's lounge cot all made up to sleep tonight. And it looks exactly like the REI Cot. Except I can sit on the foot of the cot. And again, some of you might be going, no big deal. Fine, no big deal to you guys. The REI Cot is a great cot. Tonight, I'm going to sleep on this Cabela's cot. I'll wake up in the morning and then I'm going to give you a rundown of all 5 cots. So we'll see you in the morning. Good morning, and as I thought, this Cabela's cot with this fourth set of legs on the end slept the best of all of them. Now, let me be clear. The Cabela's and the REI Cot sleep the same. It feels the same, but I give the Cabela's cot a little bit higher rating because of this fourth set of legs and the case and the shoulder straps and how the legs snap into place. So not all of it's about how you sleep, but most of it is. Let me just run down how I ranked them this week, and I'm going to look at my phone real quick just because I don't want to make a mistake. The first cot that I tested was the Coleman cot with the small pad, the sleeping pad, and I gave that a 3.5 out of 5 stars. The Aboron or Aboron, however you pronounce that, I gave it 3 stars, and then the air mattress I gave 4 stars, the REI Cot 4.5 stars, and then last night the Cabela's Cot 4.75 stars. Honestly, if I were to rank these how I've slept in camping my whole life, then the REI Cot would have gotten 4.75 and the Cabela's Cot would have gotten 5 out of 5. I'm leaving a little bit of room because nothing's ever perfect, and I kind of compare it to how you might sleep in a truck camper or a trailer, but this really is about tent camping, so should I have given it a 5 out of 5? I'm still going to leave it 4.75 out of 5, but you know it's the best I've ever slept. The main problem I had with the Coleman cot was it's just not as comfortable. It's a little bit more rigid. It can be a little hard to put together with those crossbars at the end, but it just doesn't sleep as well. It's way better than sleeping on the ground. Now the second cot, which I say is the Aboron Cot, it was very narrow. It really wasn't comfortable. Even with the pad that came with it, it might have looked thick, but it was very fluffy. But when you laid on it, it really didn't give that much cushion. Compared to the cushion with the Coleman cot, that was about, I'd say 3/4 of an inch thick, but it was more dense and it was more comfortable. Now the air mattress, I really liked how it slept, but it does move a little bit when you're sleeping on it. And my main issues there besides sleeping is you can lose the air. If you're not using a sleeping bag or something that has a good warm layer below it, if it's cold outside, that air in the mattress will get cold and then you'll freeze. It might be the way you like to sleep in the summer, but in the winter, I'd say no, don't do that. And lastly, the REI Cot and the Cabela's Cot, they sleep the same. Again, as I've said, the REI Cot doesn't have that set of legs at the foot of the bed, so it'll pop up in the air. But they both sleep great because I use that 3-inch memory foam, and I'm telling you how stable those cots are when you're sleeping, how comfortable they are. And with a great comforter or a sleeping bag, mine's rated to -25. And with that big buddy heater going last night, plus I have a fan up on the ceiling. It's a battery operated fan and it blows the air back down. And with that sleeping bag, I had to pull the sleeping bag off of me last night. And the temperatures got down below 30, and I don't know if it got down to 25, but it was pretty cold. Bottom line, I'm telling you, the best way to sleep when you're camping, I don't care if it's a summer or winter, it's this way with the REI Cot and the Cabela's cot with that memory foam. And use a sleeping bag if you want, but a sheet or a sleeping bag. But again, I would use a fitted sheet to at least go over the memory foam to keep it in place if you're going to use a sleeping bag on top of it, so that memory foam won't move around or get torn. Well, there you have it, my cot and air mattress reviews of the week. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave a comment below on ways that you like to sleep. Give me specifics on a mattress, a cot, whatever it might be. Leave those comments below, because I'm always looking for better ways to sleep when camping so that I can make videos and pass it along to everybody here. I know it's been a long video, but thanks for hanging out with me to the end. And watch out for a lot more camping videos coming up. Now get out to the mountains and stay safe.